Well, we are now going to march ahead, and we all are aware about the brand Byju's and how it is changing the world of learning in India. Well, parents used to think that tablets and iPads are a big distraction for their kids as well as for studies, but Byju's is truly changing this perception. They are transforming the classroom learning as well, and we wonder how they do that. How have they changed this mindset? Is it just by their marketing campaigns or by targeting the right audience or by having the magic of Shah Rukh Khan? So we're going to decode this secret, and I would like to call on stage Mr. Atit Mehta, the Chief Marketing Officer from Byju's, the learning app. Let's hear it for him. Okay, well, Mr. Mehta is saying that you all have to stay back. He wants a lot of people in the audience, so can we have everyone over here, please? And then we'll be having the gentleman over here. Welcome, sir. Right, the stage is all yours, sir.
Are we starting? Okay, guys, so finally it's loaded. Yeah, my name is Atit, and I'll just quickly take you all in the next 10-12 minutes. The journey which started with Byju's becoming an online learning app. Earlier it was a physical classroom to teach maths for CAT aspirants. So come 2015, the app was launched, and I'll quickly in about 10-12 minutes talk about how the journey has been from 2015 till today. Yeah, and it's all about building brand love. So if you look at communication in the past, yeah, this is some of the communication we see today also. What does this communication say? The communication is targeted to parents, communication is targeted to students, that come join me and you will get the best results, both in terms of quality as well as quantity. Difficult to understand quality and quantity together, but that's what the message says. Yeah, last year this many students who joined us achieved this ranks, and some of them were in that all India ranks. And the power of this coaching is so good that if you join us, you will achieve something great in life. And there are multiple such examples. People also go a step further and say, the only institute who can prepare you for competitive exams. So it's all about creating that pressure, it's all about creating that fear, it's all about creating that environment that if you don't join me, then you will not get your IIT seat, or you will not get your medical seat, or you will not get your management seats. And it's all about, I am better than the others, this many students have done this level of percentile score. So it was all about creating that ecosystem that I am the best, if you come and join me, you will achieve something in life. Yeah, so it was all about achievements, top rankers. Testimony was the output, that if you do this, it's a prescribed formula, study for 8 hours, attend classes, write these exam papers, hopefully you will do well in life in terms of education or getting into a good college. Yeah? So this is what the education ecosystem or communication, advertising, marketing as for education across the length and breadth of the country spoke about. Yeah? And if you, even today, some of the institutes, some of the coaching classes speak a similar language. But there was a open space which was available, and Byju's took some learnings and advantage of that, and it all changed the way communication was done. As far education is concerned, it was never about achievements, it was never about I am the best or replacing teachers or join Byju's or subscribe to Byju's and you will achieve XYZ scores in your examination. It was all about conceptual learning, it was all about learning by yourself, and never even talking about that if you don't subscribe to Byju's, you will not achieve anything in life. So that is the starting point, that was the insight, that was the consumer understanding, and from there, keeping this in mind, the phrase got manifested as come fall in love with learning, because everything which we want to do is make students fall in love with learning. And I'll quickly play one communication which was And this was around 2015. And the first real success, or how success is measured in the organization, this is what happened. Yeah, can we just have the chairs removed so people can see at least the numbers, whatever numbers are there. Yeah, so as the business started, this communication directly led the downloads to a 5x number. Yeah, it's indexed, I've not put the actual numbers, it was 5x. And one needs to understand that how download gets you business, but the funnel works through the downloads. Once you download the app, a consumer will get 15 days of free trial. And once you get free trial, you can access the course content based on your subjects, or based on your curriculum, based on your board, based on your school. So if you are an ICSE student, you will get content of maths which is taught in the textbook of 4th standard ICSE, which would be different from 4th standard of CBSE. So it's completely mapped across 14 state boards, ICSE, CBSE, IGC, IB, across all the major boards in the country. So once the download happens, you get a free 15-day trial package, you get to understand what the content is all about, and once you finish your 15 days, you have the option to purchase the product, which is the premium subscription. So more the downloads, and if you draw the marketing or the sales funnel, there is a very, very healthy percentage which converts. So the percentage, the more the number of downloads, that's your upper funnel, and as and when people filter out, because nobody wants to not use it for 15 days, so there is a 100% usage of the total number of downloads as far free trial is concerned. Some people drop out, then some people end up buying it, some people will take a decision that I don't want to buy it. So the percentages are very high. So higher the downloads, bigger the sales revenue, or more the sales revenue for the organization. So this particular campaign actually made the first big impact into the marketplace as far as education is concerned, and in about 2 or 3 months, it was a 5x impact in terms of downloads and that much growth in revenue. But like every other business, we also faced our first big challenge in terms of how do we get growth back, because organic downloads were becoming stagnated. Digital was doing okay, but CAG was very high, so it was just not making sense. And most importantly, parents started raising the concern there is enough and more technology available. The more time a kid spends on a screen or a laptop or a mobile phone, we don't want that thing to happen. Now, if education is also happening on a tablet or a device, what's going to happen to my kid? And that needed to be answered without antagonizing the parents, without antagonizing the teachers, because we are never talking about that Byju is going to replace the school education system. It cannot replace the school education system. It is learning at home. And everything which we had to do in a way which was more about not fear that if you don't use me, you will not do well in life, but it was all about falling in love with learning, and that's the time the second communication played out. Can I have the second video? Because it's very important to understand what went behind this, because today if your child is in 4th standard, yeah, he will not download the app because he does not have his own mobile phone. The app is going to be downloaded by the parent, and parent needs to understand 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th standard, and if you go to tier 2, tier 3, probably till 18, 20 years, a kid will not be carrying a mobile phone. Yeah, so at least the first 5, 6 standards, which is standard 4th to standard 8th or 9th, Parents are the one who carries the mobile phone. The kid does not have a mobile phone, and a lot of parents are getting into a lot of restriction in terms of what to download, not to download. So this communication was aimed at the parents, telling them, don't worry, kids are still learning something better than what they have ever experienced, and they are still spending time. Your screen time of playing games and your screen time of watching some videos which you don't want them to watch is getting replaced by educational content, and that really, really worked with the parents. And that's what followed. Yeah, so this gave us a 15x jump in downloads, and I said, more the number of downloads, the funnel becomes healthier, the funnel becomes bigger, and bigger the funnel, more and more active leads get generated, and that active leads eventually converts into top line. Yeah. But a similar marketing problem happened to us. So you had the innovators, you have had the early adopters, but the belly of the population, the typical Indian middle class as we define, were not still accepting online education. So the metros and people like us who are well educated, well traveled, work in big organizations, who know about all these things, adopted very fast. But your driver and my maid and everybody else who is the belly of the Indian ecosystem were just not ready, and that's when the big challenge again came in, and one had to do something completely different to appeal to them. And that's the time, as a typical marketing team or people will talk about, get a celebrity. Yeah, and we had to then move towards that line. It was just not about getting a celebrity. It was a very, very conscious call to select whom we selected. He's a father, he's well spoken, he's educated, and he's not the riffraff movie star. He's very, very well known and very well respected in the work which he does, and that's the reason SRK came into the play. And this is what was the first communication with SRK. And one thing which we are very proud of, that we maintain the consistency in the communication. The core messaging of making kids fall in love with learning always remained, and it still remains. And that consistency also established the brand equity, and now Byju stand for online learning, and kids are falling in love with learning. And this is what happened. A lot of people have spoken, a lot of articles have been written, a lot of chatter has happened, a lot of cynicism has happened that, brands are just going and signing up celebrities because they have money to flush. But the impact nobody sees, and this is the impact: 120x growth in about 1.5 years. And from 15x to 120x is a phenomenal thing. And we, mind you, we are 1.3 billion people. There are 260 million families which have kids who go to school. So on that base, having this level of growth is then a big, big number in absolute terms. And this is what the impact this particular communication and Shahrukh had on the business. Yeah. So eventually what happened? Parents fell in love with learning, students fell in love with learning, and even investors fell in love with learning, which also fuels growth, or gives us fuel for the future growth. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly now just summarize because of lack of time, and we only have about 10-12 minutes to finish all these things. This is where the journey has been. Today, if you look at it, 24% of consumption is happening in metros, yeah, and 75%, 76% is happening outside the metros. Yeah, this is the scale and size, because it's not a very shocking number, because as I said, we are sitting in Gurgaon, we are sitting in Mumbai, we are sitting in Calcutta. We have good schools, we have great teachers, we have great ecosystem and infrastructure. Go to a tier 2 market, go to a tier 3 market. There is 4G connectivity, there is light, there is water, there is everything. FMCG products are available, but you go and visit a school. There is no school. Even if there is a school, there are no teachers. And if there are teachers, the teachers are not good enough to part me the same level of education what you and me have got in a big city like us or whichever cities we come from. So that's where the core of the business lies. Yeah. And how we believe that the building of brand love for learning has impacted business. As of right now, as we stand, 30th of June numbers, 30 million downloads. We are at 4.7 rating on Google App Store for downloads. Downloads more than 10 million, 4.7 is the rating. Yeah. On an average, about 64 minutes is what a person is spending, and about 2 million paid subscribers. And as I said, there are 260 million students, which is the 4th to 12th standard universe. Yeah, we have only got 30 million downloads, and only 2 million has become paid. So the headroom for growth is just like 1% done till date. Yeah, so that's the small journey about Byju's in the last 2-3 years. What next? You would have seen this launch, which is the Disney Byju launch, which happened about 15, 20 days ago. The main Byju's the learning app is for standard 4th to standard 12th. This is a partnership, not a marketing partnership, but a business partnership with Disney, and this content is created for standard 1, 2 and 3. So as we stand today, we now have content created or educational content created for everything learning, starting from standard 1st to standard 12th, and hopefully in the next 3 to 4 months we'll also have content getting ready and getting launched for preschool. So that's the Disney Byju piece. Not talking about it, hopefully next year I get invited and I'll talk about Disney Byju journey. Yeah, so this is what we have, which is Byju's the learning app for standard 4th to 12th, and for classes 1 to 3, which is Disney Byju. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for that journey, and we would like to further dig more into the branding and marketing of Byju's.